Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin with the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you are fine in health and enjoying your studies. In this lecture of the course Biometabolism, we are going to discuss digestion of proteins, absorption and transportation of amino acids to the cell. I welcome all of you in this lecture with the prayer, My Lord, increase me in knowledge. Rabbi zidni ilma. The key concepts or contents of this lecture are about protein digestion, absorption of protein, metabolic fat of proteins, detailed mechanism of metabolism of amino acids. So we start from protein digestion. First of all, we will start from chemical composition of digestive juices that are involved in the breakdown of proteins. Food particles going to break down from our mouth. Along with the broken down of the bigger particle into smaller particle, digestion of food particles started from mouth. Digestive juices or enzymes also release in the oral cavity so that food get broken down into smaller particles as well as get absorbed. Now here we talk about the gastric juice or the juices of stomach. Our gastric juice contains water, enzymes, hydrochloric acids, mineral salts and other compounds. About 2 to 5 liters of gastric juice is secreted per day in healthy human. What is the role of hydrochloric acid in digestion? Dear students, the hydrochloric acid present in our stomach or released in our stomach is a strong acid. Its pH vary from 0 to 2.5 or even 3. It's a strong acid. It's a blessing of Allah that this type of strong acid is present inside our body for the breakdown of food particles. What the role this hydrochloric acid play in digestion? Hydrochloric acid denature the proteins easier so that these proteins undergo digestion by pepsin enzyme and other enzymes. HCl stimulates the activity of pepsin. So it stimulates the activity of that enzyme which is necessary for the broken down of protein particles. Hydrochloric acid also have bactericidal properties. The strong acid present in our stomach kill the germs if we mistakenly or negatively eat germs from our food. Hydrochloric acid has bactericidal properties. It kills that germs. If our food is adulterated and it is contaminated, it gets germs and we eat that food mistakenly. Hydrochloric acid has bactericidal property. It kills the germs or bacteria of that food. HCl stimulates the peristalsis. Hydrochloric acid also regulates the enzymatic function of pancreas. Proper digestion of food is started in our stomach. In our stomach, digestion is stimulated by food, acetylcholine, histamine, and gastrin neurotransmitter chemicals. Dear students, histamine, acetylcholine, and gastrin like neurotransmitters are released into the cells of our stomach. These chemicals stimulated the digestion of food in our stomach along with hydrochloric acid. The combination of acetylcholine, histamine, and gastrin causes the liberation of these gastric juices. Mucin is always secreted in the stomach, whereas hydrochloric acid with the pH varies from 0.8 to 2.5 is secreted by parietal cells. Pepsinogen or zymogen is secreted by the chief cells of the stomach. Dear students, you can see the picture of stomach here. The entering portion of the stomach is known as esophageal sphincter, and the lower portion or the exit portion of the stomach is known as pyloric sphincter. These are actually muscles present at the opening and ending of the stomach. Inside the cross-sectional area, you can see stomach consists of manifolds of very thin alveolar layers. Pepsinogen or zymogen is secreted by the chief cells of these folds. What is the function of these proteolytic enzymes and how their activation occurs? Along with other three enzymes are in gastric juices, pepsin, gastricin, and renin. All these enzymes cleave the protein or peptides. These three enzymes, pepsin, gastricin, and renin, play major role for the broken down of protein particles. Pepsinogen with the molecular weight 40,000 is activated by the enzyme pepsin, which is already present in the stomach and also released in the stomach by the action of hydrochloric acid. You can see in this picture inactive pepsinogen. It is converted into active pepsin and protein get broken down, and hydrochloric acid which is attached with this inactive pepsinogen is also separated out. Pepsinogen is cleaved off to become enzyme pepsin with the molecular weight of 33,000 and a peptide fragment to be degraded. A peptide fragment of the protein get degraded and this pepsinogen enzyme cleave off to become pepsin. In active form, this is known as pepsinogen, whereas the active form of this enzyme is known as pepsin. Pepsin partially digests by proteins by cleaving the peptide bonds formed by the aromatic amino acids. The major role of the pepsin is to digest the proteins by cleaving the peptide bonds formed by the aromatic amino acids. The second enzyme is gastricin. The optimal pH for the gastricin is 2 to 3. The ratio between gastricin and pepsin in gastric juice is round about 1 to 5. This ratio can be changed in some pathological stages, in case of any disease or in old age, etc. Third enzyme is renin. Renin also possesses a proteolytic activity and causes a rapid coagulation of ingested casein. Renin, main part of the renin is the rapid coagulation of casein or milk proteins. But this enzyme also play an important role only in children because the optimal pH for is 5 to 6. In early ages, a child drink milk and the protein of milk is known as casein. So renin play an important role in the children and pH of the renin is 5 to 6. Second part of the digestion is started after the stomach in duodenum. What is the duodenum? Duodenum is the intestine, or you can say it's the small intestine. You can see in this picture small intestine, duodenum, jejunum, ileum are the parts of small intestine. In small intestine, stimulated by the food, secretin and cholecystokinin regulate the secretion of bicarbonate and zymogens like trypsinogen. Secretin, cholecystokinin, zymogens and trypsinogens are secreted in duodenum. Chymotrypsinogen, prolactase and procarboxypeptidase by pancreas into the duodenum. Dear students, here the enzymes of the pancreas also release into the small intestine. These enzymes are prolactase and procarboxypeptidase. In the duodenum part of the digestive system, there is also strong digestion of proteins and other food particles occur. Bicarbonates changes the pH to about 7. The intestinal cells secretes an enzyme known as enteropeptidase that act on trypsinogen and cleaving it trypsinogen into trypsin. Intestinal cells also release an enzyme known as enteropeptidase that act on trypsinogen and cleaving it into trypsin. Enteropeptidase, secreted by the mucosa of the duodenum, initiates the activation of pancreatic proenzyme. You can see enteropeptidase at the top of this flowchart. Enteropeptidase start the activation of trypsinogen into trypsin, and this trypsin act on chymotrypsinogen converted into chymotrypsin. This trypsin also act on prolactase and converted this prolactase into elastase. This trypsinogen or this trypsin also act on procarboxypeptidase converted into carboxypeptidase. This trypsin also act on prolipase and convert it into lipase. Proteolytic enzymes or protein breakdown enzyme exhibit the preference for particular type of peptide bonds. For example, proteinases, these are the enzyme proteinases and peptidases present here in this slide. Proteinases preferentially attacks the bond. For example, pepsin attack on the bonds containing aromatic bonds and acidic amino acid like glycine and aspartic acid, tyrosine, etc. Trypsin act on basic amino acid like arginine and lysine. Similarly, chymotrypsin act on hydrophobic enzyme and acidic amino acid. Hydrophobic amino acid and acidic amino acid. Hydrophobic amino acids like leucine, tyrosine, etc. Similarly, elastase is a proteinase. It attacks on amino acid with a small side chain like glycine, alanine and serine. Like proteinases, there are peptidases enzyme that break down the peptide bonds of amino acids. These are carboxypeptidase A. It acts on nearly all amino acids except arginine and lysine. Carboxypeptidase B. It acts on basic amino acid like arginine and lysine. Aminopeptidase act on nearly all amino acids. Similarly, prolidase, it acts on proline. Dipeptidase, it act on only dipeptidases. You can see in this picture proteolytic enzymes and the function of their breakdown or their targets at which they act and convert them into simpler amino acids or broken down into simpler particles of proteins. The splitting of elastin in an intestine is catalyzed by elastase enzyme. Similarly, the collagen is decomposed by collagenase. Digestion of proteins takes place not only in the intestinal cavity, but it also on the surface of mucosa cells. What is the mechanism of amino acid absorption? The mechanism of amino acid absorption is also known as sodium co-transport theory for the amino acid transport. It is also known as secondary active transport of amino acids. Absorption of amino acids through the intestine mucosa can occur far more rapidly than protein can be digested in the lumen of intestine. Since most protein digestion occur in the upper small intestine, most protein absorption occurs in the duodenum as well as in the jejunum part of the small intestine. Most proteins are completely digested to free amino acids. Amino acids and sometimes short oligopeptidases are absorbed by the secondary active transport mechanism of protein absorption. Amino acids are transported through the blood to the cells of body. You can see in this picture, proteins are converted into amino acids and oligopeptidases in the presence of proteolytic enzymes in the lumen of the digestive system. In the intestinal cells, these oligopeptidases converted into amino peptidases and they act on tripeptidase and dipeptide bonds. Amino acids are converted complex amino acids are converted into small amino acid. Peptide bonds get broken down in the presence of amino peptidases and simpler particles of protein or the simpler amino acid particles get absorbed into the blood. What are the sources or uses of amino acids? When protein get absorbed in the intestine after the broken down of the larger particles of amino acids or when peptide bonds get broken down, the amino acids are converted into its precursor parts and they get absorbed into the intestine. The smaller parts are again unite or two amino acids again unite with the peptide bond and again there is a formation of protein structure. Amino acid formation occur during the protein decomposition. Amino acid synthesis occur from the carbohydrates and lipids also. The cycles are interrelated. Protein, carbohydrates and fat cycles are interrelated. The conversion of one product into another product occur very efficiently. Protein are used or amino acids are used for protein synthesis. Amino acids are also used for the synthesis of nitrogen containing compounds like creatinine, purines, choline and pyrimidines. As the source of energy, amino acids produces energy through oxidation, deamination, transamination, and decarboxylation process of amino acid digestion. From the gluconeogenesis, energy is also produced. For the formation of biologically active compounds, proteins are also necessary, and this energy is also necessary for the broken down as well as for the formation of biologically active compounds. This is the overview of amino acid catabolism interior-organ relationship. Dear students, our body parts are interrelated to each other, or the functioning of our body parts are interrelated to each other. The chemicals that are produced in the body or consumed in the body are interrelated from one part of the body to the other part, or from one organ to other organ. Their absorption, their broken down, their formation occur through blood and from one organ to other organ. This is the interorgan relationship between intestine, kidney, liver and muscles. You can see in this picture citrulline, glucose, arginine, alanine and citrulline. They are consumed in the muscles as well as produced in the liver and kidneys and the intestine. They get consumed from one consumption in one part of the body or in one organ. The production occurs in the other organ of body. In the liver, synthesis of liver and plasma proteins happened. Catabolism of amino acids also occur in the liver. Gluconeogenesis is the process of the broken down of the glucose is also occur in the liver. Ketogenesis also occur in the liver. Branch chain amino acids, however, are not catabolized in the liver. Urea synthesis also occur in the liver. Amino acids released into the general circulation through the liver, because liver perform the function of the production of blood. Liver is also enriched in BCAA. Through liver, the protein goes to skeletal muscles for perform the function of contraction as well as relaxation. Muscle proteins is also synthesized in the liver. Catabolism of branch chain amino acids also occur in the liver. Amino groups transported away as alanine and glutamine, and 50% of amino acids are also released in the liver. Alanine is also perform a role in the liver for gluconeogenesis. This alanine is also produced in the liver. Liver is also supplied glutamine, and this glutamine is further transported to kidneys. What is the function of kidney? Glutamine metabolized to alpha ketoglutarate plus ammonia in the kidneys. Alpha ketoglutarate is necessary for the initiation of gluconeogenesis process. Ammonia is excreted or used for the urea cycle, also known as arginine synthesis cycle. Important buffers are also produced in the kidneys from acidosis process. Dear students, there is a term used in protein digestion known as protein turnover. What is protein turnover? Protein turnover is the degradation and resynthesis of proteins. Half-life of proteins varies from several minutes to many years. Structural proteins are usually stable, like lens protein are crystalline their lives during the whole life of organism. They are stable proteins, they can live throughout the whole life of an organism. Whereas comparatively structural proteins, regulatory proteins are short-lived. Regulatory proteins alter the amounts of proteins can rapidly change the rate of metabolic process. If we alter the amount of these regulatory or short-lived proteins, metabolic processes rate also altered. So they are short-lived proteins play an important role in the regulation of proteins as compared to stable or long-lived proteins. Dear students, as the proteins are synthesized or produced, there is also a degradation mechanism of proteins. So how can we know about or how can a cell distinguish proteins that are meant for degradation, or which protein or the target protein how can be identified that is need to be degraded? There is a specific mechanism for the identification of that proteins. For example, ubiquitin, you can see in this picture, is the tag that marks proteins for destruction. Or you can say it is the identification tag of that proteins which is ready for destruction. Black spots are the signals of the death of protein. You can see in this picture, these are the black spots. Ubiquitin is a small 8.5 kilodalton protein present in all eukaryotic cells. It is also just like proteins, but it helps in the identification of that proteins which is necessary for degradation. Structure of ubiquitin is that it consists of an extended carboxyl terminus. You can see C terminus that is linked to other proteins. Lysine residues for linking additional ubiquitin molecules are also present attached with this ubiquitin protein. Proteasomes degraded regulatory proteins or short or half-life proteins or abnormal or misfolded proteins. Proteasomes are enzymes that attack on the peptide bonds of amino acids and degrade them or broken down them. Its hollow cylindrical supermolecule consists of nearly 28 polypeptides or 4 cycles of heptamers. The caps on the ends regulate the entry of proteins into destruction chamber upon ATP hydrolysis. Protein ubiquitin, let's suppose, enter in these proteasomes represented here in red colors. These proteasomes act on protein ubiquitin, that is the identified or the marked protein or the marked amino acids. When proteasomes degrade it, it converted into simple ubiquitin tag as well as short peptides of the amino acids that get broken down. These short peptides again converted into simpler amino acid by the Cystosolic peptidases. This is the regulation of cell cycle apoptosis and angiogenesis. This ubiquitin again attacked or again marked with another amino acid that is need to be degraded. Inside the barrel, differently specific proteasomes hydrolyze target protein into short amino acid or 8 amino acid peptides. Ubiquitin is not degraded, it is released intact or as such. These are the references from which the material of protein digestion has been taken out. You can also study these books, you can also browse these links and study about the protein digestion. There is an assignment for you. Question number 1 of the assignment is write down the detailed mechanism or study the detailed mechanism of amino acid absorption. Describe 3 general ways of catabolism of proteins diagrammatically or by flowchart. Third question is the general way of amino acid degradation. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.